Okay, we should be live. I am back from vacation, and I have been driving for the past 2 days. And it is after midnight, and I have not played any of the new set since the pre-release, and I have not watched anybody play any of the new set since the pre-release. I was on vacation and I did not look at emails or videos or streams or anything while I was gone. So I have no idea what the meta looks like. I barely remember the cards. So let's draft the new Magic set. This seems like a wonderful idea. Let's just use the draft token up. We got a draft token. I'm not gonna be able to get the battle pass this time. Server, don't you start with me. Yeah, I was gonna do this before, and ooh, didn't mean to hit the mic there. I forgot that I left because I left on the day the set went live. I had a whole bunch of updates to do. So I was actually going to start this draft like an hour ago. But I wound up having to do all of the updates, and then I take my brother back to our grandfather's house, because that's where he stays, and he has been gone for 2 weeks. If you don't follow me regularly, our grandfather passed away a little over a year ago. So he mostly stays over there now to watch the house. He used to stay over there to help our grandfather out. Now he stays there to watch the house, so that way, until we figure out exactly what we're doing with it. So that way, you know, it's not just like an abandoned house, vulnerable to anybody with ill intent. So I had to like take him back over there. I had a wonderful vacation, all things considered, but the drive down there and back was not pleasant. Alright. 5 mana, 4/4 trample. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on this thing. Then you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the number of counters on him. I'm probably taking that. Create a mutagen token, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. He seems fine. Shredder's Armor. I have to sacrifice a creature to a... Oh no, a non-land permanent. Still not thrilling. Trag, I remember being okay. He plays very similar to a card from Mirrodin, Scars of Mirrodin, I believe. Flying Vigilance, dies, draw a card. I feel like that was whatever. Control an artifact, draw a card is fine. Negate. This is the Island Cycler. I remember Shredder's Revenge being okay. Chain Reaction kept... At the pre-release, it had targets. Rocksteady is a big, dumb creature, but that's still good enough. Yeah. I'm taking Savante here. Okay, Stockman is... Enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot creature token. Begin of combat on your turn. Target artifact creature you control gains +3/+0 vigilance and first strike until end of turn. This is the Wheel of Fortune, but it's optional. Skateboard, I remember being okay. Uneasy Alliance is, you know, good white removal, just in general. Raphael's fine. I probably want Baxter, despite him not playing particularly well with Savante. This is the Golden Goose Egg reprint. Creature artifact. Oh, there are 2 of the same card in this pack. That's weird. Didn't know that was a possibility. I think Stockman is the strongest card, so I'm just going to take him for right now. Try and stay open. Discard a card until end of turn, becomes the color of your choice and gains hexproof from that color. Deals combat damage to a player. Draw a card for each color among permanents you control. The drawing a card for each permanent, and the fact that he's able to dodge removal, I probably want Mondo Gecko. Top 4 cards of your library, reveal an artifact card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. There's a blue-red dual land. This is the Mountain Cycler. Wrath is fine. Crustacean Commando is fine. Retro Mutagen is a decent blue removal spell. I'm going to take the Mythic, and we'll see what we do from there. He doesn't have artifact synergies, is probably the biggest problem. Can't be blocked if an artifact entered under your control this turn. Sacrifice this creature, counter target spell that targets an artifact or creature you control. I remember this thing being really good. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to kill something, or just 3 mana to blink something. Game Master was okay. Yeah, he just gets 1/1 counters, gains 3 life. Can't attack unless you control another artifact. Oh, and this is the Mauser Factory. This thing was decent, right? Enters or leaves, make a 1/1. This actually might be better than the Fugitive Droid, although Fugitive Droid is also decent. Just because it makes 2 Mausers and deals 3 damage to another creature. Well, I don't currently have any turtles, so that's kind of out. There's nothing for... Is blue-red a good color combination? Is that why I don't have anything now? I suppose because I have Savanti, I should take Death in the Family. Just in case the blue-red's not going to come around. It's possible there just wasn't anything in blue-red in those packs. Like, even remotely playable. May discard a card if you do draw a card is okay. This is an artifact, but so is this, and I think tapping one of their blockers is better. There's also the bounce to the top or bottom of the library, make a mutagen token, but I think the skateboard's a little bit better. I could be wrong. Like, I'm going by what I barely remember of this set from 2 weeks ago. Destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact versus 6 damage to a creature and exile it. Versus trample, another creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I think I want the removal spell. This is the thing that makes something into a 4/5, right? Okay. Blue-green land. I do have Savanti, so... But there's a Retro Mutagen, I'm just going to take that. Alright. Slide you 2 down for right now. Alright, Negate and Baxter came back. Mutant Chain Reaction is fine. Both of the Rock Soldiers came back. Or I could just take the Commando, who is a 2-drop that makes an artifact. Take another Mutagen. Take 2/3. This is a 4/5 Ward 3 is fine, but let's take the 2-mana 2/3 that interacts with my stuff. The Revenge, just in case. And a Forest. Alright. Cool but rude. Whenever you attack, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, this class deals 2 damage to each opponent. Becomes level 3. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then discard at random. I don't know if that's actually good, if I'm being completely honest. Mauser attack is just okay. This doesn't really help with what I'm doing. I think I'm going to take Cool But Rude primarily because it's either that or take the Buzzbots, which is just okay. Unless it's not just okay. Maybe it's like super good in the artifact deck. Like I already have Baxter, so. Takes the Mutagen token. I can remove a 1/1 counter to draw a card. Old Hob. Oh, he needs white mana in order to make the token not die. And of course, there's a Mythic here, but we're nowhere near it. Alright, give me the Ray Fillet. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on Donatello's. Probably going to be the pickup. I remember Karai being insane at the pre-release. So I'm a little sad to see her go. I would not mind if nobody wheeled or Buzzbots, but take Donatello for right now. Feel free in the comments to tell me how badly I messed up by not taking certain cards for this thing, like for this archetype that I've had the chance to take. I remember Anchovy and Banana Pizza being one of Black's better cards, but return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, gives +2/+1 in Vigilance. And we wheeled the Mauser Mark III last time, so hopefully we'll do that again. Nothing else in the pack is, like, super helpful for me. Splinter's Technique feels like a bulk rare. This Casey is draw 3 cards at the beginning of your next upkeep, discard 3 cards at random. Cool but rude is whenever you discard a card. So it'll be for each card. Tap up to one target creature and put a stun counter on it. It is an artifact creature. I would like the retro mutation more, but I feel like I want more artifact creatures. Alright, so now I can take Tri, because now I have a bunch of artifacts. There's another Mauser. Ice Cream Kitty is black-green. Squirrelinoids, there's 2 of in the pack. Mauser attack, yeah, just give me Trag. Control an artifact draw card is probably worth it at this point. What does my curve look like? Yeah, I'm alright on the 2-drop, so I don't need to do that. Gains your choice of Flying Menace or Haste. Whenever Wingnut attacks, other attacking creatures get +1 power. Donatello is legendary. Maybe I just want a blue-red dual land, though. Help the deck's mana base out a little bit. It does cantrip, which is kind of cool, but I do not think Mauser attack is good, but it's probably playable. I don't know how good or bad 1 toughness creatures are in this format, but drawing more cards is probably going to be my thing. Do I want an artifact creature that destroys a non-creature artifact or another skateboard? Probably a creature at this point. I don't want to come up short. Okay, now we'll take the 1/1 flyer that dies into a card draw. That has to be better than my other options. Alright, he cycles for a forest if I need him to. There's a white-black dual land if that becomes relevant. It's a technique, not Kitsune herself. 2 Stockmans. Apparently, 2 of the same card in the pack is very common. Return up to one other target artifact you control to its owner's hand and scry 1. I don't have a lot of the good synergies with nobody. There are a handful of artifacts that are really potent in the set. It's possible I should just take another Ray Fillet at this point, but I think I want to take nobody and see if we can find any of the other good artifacts to bounce. Alright, beginning of your end step, exile up to one target artifact and one target creature you control, and then return them to the battlefield. I am probably still supposed to take this. Like, all of the team-up turtles, I remember being pretty strong. And we do have a bunch of things worth blinking, so... Speaking of which, if I wanted an Omni Cheese Pizza... Whenever another creature you control enters, you may exile the top card of your library. You may play cards exiled with another Mauser. I'm going to take the pizza, especially now that I have a good thing to use it with. Third retro mutation. Ooh, Purple Dragon Punks, actually, with the way this deck is shaping up. Other nobody. This is 2 artifact creatures in a trench coat, though. Yeah, I think I want the mechanized ninja cavalry. Gives double strike. Hey, I'll give it a shot. It was fine in limited, but, you know, or in pre-release, but that was the pre-release. Everybody's trying out new stuff. This thing creates a mutagen, right? So that wouldn't be terrible, but I think I want the punks again. A bunch of artifacts right now. Another nobody over the musicians, and another Donatello. Like, part of me wants to take bulk rares just for, like, finishing off the collection. Or getting the collection started, rather, so that way I have a few things. Bowser Mark III isn't legendary, right? Like, Mark III makes it sound like it's a specific upgrade. There are certainly a lot of common legends in this set, so... Yeah, I have no idea how well or poorly this set has been playing out. Like, if people are actually enjoying it, or if it's another Spider-Man set, because they... So, what Wizards has been doing is... They started way back with the Big Score, which was... Or not the Big Score, Aftermath. Which was supposed to be a small set released after the events of... March of the Machine, with the idea that it would give you, like, where some characters were, because there are a whole bunch of planeswalkers that lost their spark, so they put a handful of legendary creatures that represented these planeswalkers in Aftermath, and some other random cards. And the whole idea was that it was going to be a small, non-draftable set that added to Standard. And it sold very poorly and was overall very poorly received by the community as a whole. Obviously, there are some people that liked it, but for the most part, it did not do well. They also did a similar thing with Assassin's Creed, where it was... you know, like, I think it was like 8 card booster packs with, like, a rare and, like, you know, 7 uncommons, or however it worked out. I forget how big or small the packs were. It was, you know, it's not draftable or anything, and it's not great. That one also did not sell super well as far as Universes Beyond products are concerned. So what Wizards has realized is that people do not like that setup. The problem is that they work so far in advance that they had a bunch of these in the pipeline coming into these past couple years, and since nobody wanted those products, they have jumped through a lot of hoops to try and make them closer to normal Magic sets, basically by doubling their size so that they're half a normal Magic set in size. With like 150 some odd cards instead of like the 300 and some odd cards the set normally has. And the Spider-Man set did not do well, and I think a lot of that comes down to the crunch time necessary to build a set properly. You know, you start off with the idea that you're going to be building a Magic set, and then they come to you and they're like, hey, this needs to have this many more cards and be draftable now. And it's just like, that is an insane ask, depending on where you are in the development cycle of the set. So I'm going to guess that Assassin's Creed was too far along to do that, but the Spider-Man set, they went for it, and it overall did not work. Spider-Man was one of the more poorly received Magic sets of last year. So I don't know how Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is doing, but I do feel like this was another set that happened to, and I would not be surprised if one of the other Universes Beyond sets of this year, probably like Star Trek or something, also winds up like this. Because they didn't want to not release it, and they didn't want to just release the thing and have it bomb like the other ones did. So they're trying to scramble and make it feel like a more legitimate Magic product, which, don't get me wrong, getting me to draft it is a huge part of whether or not I like something. Like, and my ability to remember what it is. You know, like, I cannot tell you what 80% of the Assassin's Creed cards do, off the top of my head. In fact, I probably couldn't tell you what 95% of them do off the top of my head if you just gave me the name. I would sit here and be like, that aren't reprints. I would just sit here and be a little bit baffled trying to pry that information from my memory. So at least with the Spider-Man set also suffers from the problem with the licensing agreements for digital card games of Marvel properties, which, again, I am assuming that has to do with Marvel Snap. We've been over that one a few times. I would not be surprised if that's a factor in why the set did so poorly. Since, it's not actually Spider-Man on Arena. And as much as I dislike Universes Beyond as a whole, and would prefer normal Magic sets if at all possible, I don't feel like the problem with the Spider-Man set is there's a huge disconnect when they're not Spider-Man cards. When trying to flavor them as Magic cards, when there's not a plane in Magic, they basically needed to make a plane where, spiders were, like, super important to the plane. In order for, and the concept of heroism and villainy, they basically needed to make the generic Magic the Gathering world version of New York City with Spider-Man in it for that set to work, and they didn't bother doing that, and so there are a whole bunch of humans that hang out with spiders, and very creepy humanoid spiders, like Davros. I think his name was Davros, the generic version of common Peter Parker Spider-Man, the white and 3 or in Web for White. It's like, this thing is a Drider. This thing is just straight up a Drider. And those things are very unsettling. Anyway, I need to make 7 cuts, so. But yeah, there was a huge disconnect, and we're going to have that again with the larger Marvel set that's coming out later this year, too, because, it's not like that whole issue magically went away. Alright, I have 3 5-drops. Right. Or 4, yeah. 3 5-drops and some 4s, so I can't really go down on a land very well. I can, but... So, by cutting the one thing, I don't really discard cards all that often now. Like the Baxter and whatnot. Do I? Mondo Gecko discards cards, so that would work. It's okay, but it does not have good synergy with the deck. So maybe I get rid of it. Yeah, I feel like there's no real synergy here. Like, even the Raphael Tough Turtle, at least I am... I have handful of things that make stuff or pick stuff up so I can put it back down, or blink stuff so I can get the activation again, so I do have a decent number of ways to trigger him. I feel like I don't need all 3 crustacean commandos, but I also don't want to go too low. It's possible I lose Raphael just because the other cards have better synergies. I still need 5 cuts, and I'm not sure what they're supposed to be. I can probably lose the Omni Cheese. Like, blinking my other artifacts, this will make a 1-1. This taps a thing that's not really super relevant because of when it's happening. Getting to blink the Bespoke Bow, though, is strong. The Mechanized Cavalry is good. Like, especially if I can blink some, like, a creature and an artifact, and this is the artifact, that's pretty strong. Also, it's another artifact creature for Baxter, so... Artifact creatures for Trag to sacrifice. It's possible I just don't need Mondo Gecko. Like, I have no way to force him through other than, like, the skateboard or some removal spells, so... I was definitely supposed to take him when I did, because there wasn't anything else that impressive that early, but... Again, no synergy here. What is my actual artifact count for the dragons? 13 cards in my deck are currently artifacts, so I think that's a good enough... ratio. Maybe one of them goes. I do have a lot of 2s, so... But they're also decent. Yeah, Raphael has the least amount of synergy. If he triggered off an artifact or creature entering, I don't think I could cut him because I have too many artifacts on top of the creatures I have, but... Because I have 2 different things that are 2 creatures in a trench coat. Another artifact. And I'm willing to go down 1 on them also. It's possible I should just ditch this one and pull back one of the commandos or the dragon punks. That might even be correct to just get the dragon punks in there. Right, because I still have 11 artifacts for them to ramp into. Alright. I just want to play some Magic. It's been 2 weeks. A new set came out, and I didn't really get to play with it. I'm not expecting to do well. I do not remember most of the set at all. Like, I remember generic bits of the strategies, but... When I left, Black-White seemed like it was the strongest color pair overall. Who knows where we're at now? Everybody but me, probably. Ooh, is it a dead format? Took a little while to get in, and now it's taking a little while to find somebody. Alright, the story bits are still left over from Lorwyn Eclipsed. Also, I've degraded all the way down to gold because I haven't been playing for forever. It's fine, I guess. If I can find something worth ramping into especially. So my opponent's on the mulligan plan. Nope, nothing worth ramping into. See, if I knew the format better, I would know what their one generic blue... Or one blue mana card represents there, but I honestly don't, so... Alright. I'm willing to trade 1 for 1 here effectively if they want to. If they don't want to, that's cool too. It's kind of underwhelming right now. Plus I want to hit my 5th land for Don and Leo. Factory's good. They're not in range though for it. Guess let's tap down one of the generic ones. Ah, it's a surveillance cam. They'll tap down nobody. Okay. It's fine. Just keep deploying. They have a scientist of their own. I don't mind trading off the punks here, so... Okay. Up to 1 artifact I control, up to 1 creature. I'm not gonna bounce my guy. I'll lock down. Yeah, it seems really strong if they can't kill Don and Leo here. Metalhead is actually really powerful, right? Yeah. No. No attacks. Let's replay this and lock down. Submit 0. Lock down Metalhead. Yeah, I'll draw a Trag at this point. Yeah, Metalhead is return up to 1 other target artifact or creature owner's hand, which they bounce my Don and Leo, and then it's red, sacrifice an artifact, he gets a 1/1 counter, gains menace and haste until end of turn. My brother had this in the pre-release, and it was very strong every time it showed up, so... You know, Trag is decent, and I might use them to... Actually, I probably won't use them to kill Metalhead, because they can just put a counter on him, and that would be silly. But then again, killing any of their other artifact creatures, Metalhead's out. Depends on if they can tap out. If I can make them use up all of their red mana randomly for some reason, if they have another one of these in hand and it taps them out of red... But yeah, it's probably just better to play Donatello here. In fact, I might have supposed to have bottom Trag to look for another land to hold up Retro Mutation, but... This is 3 damage, so I don't want to give them... I guess they're just going to kill Donatello, though, if they're still here. If they're not, then I'm just going to win to timeout now. It feels like I'm about to win to timeout because they're not doing anything. They used up all their ropes before. I think they are losing to Don and Leo, and they're just off it. And instead of conceding, they are just going to run the ropes out, so. Sorry that this particular game stopped being interesting a turn ago, but so it goes sometimes. I'm surprised you can't eat, like, the little pizza things, like click on them to eat things. I know the video game does a tiny bit here. I'm just gonna cast Don because it's fun. Keep Metalhead on lockdown. Yeah, skateboard seems fine. And now they should properly time out. I'm a little sad that clicking on the pizzas doesn't do anything. Play with the game controller. Can't, like, make the shuriken spin around or something. Make the ooze lava lamp do a cool thing. Oh, they're playing Magic the Gathering back here on the table. See some swamp, some mountain. And the opponent's done. Okay. Yeah, sorry that game stopped being interesting about halfway through, but the opponent didn't want it anymore, and I couldn't make them. Alright, instantly found me a new opponent. Ah, Frog indeed. Well, I have some of my best cards, including the double blue for this thing. 1 mana off of casting that and have a castable removal spell. Opponent goes first and they're on a mulligan. All of this seems fine. Oh, they got a little blobby boy companion, or blobby girl. Blobby non-binary blob. Ooh, maybe its gender is as fluid as the rest of it. If I keep clicking on it, will the thing explode and have all the quarters fall out of it? Oh, now I have nobody with mechanized cavalry, so that's pretty cool. That's gonna really... If they don't have a good ninja here, that's going to ruin all of the fun they're about to have, potentially, on the next turn. The biggest problem with this is that I want to keep the other 1/1 alive, so when they attack with both, and I only block one of them, they're still going to get to sneak in something, but... No, I think I should scry for the land and pick up the 1/1 first. Alright, there it is. No attacks, because I do want to actually trade the 1/1 for their Death Touchers. Yeah, I just want to... I'm going full greed on this one. We're going to deploy... We're going to be mana inefficient instead of, like, putting the GT down and the mechanized, or putting the GT down and equipping the 3/2 so it can attack into the Death Touchers. And I feel like now they're missing lands, and this is just going to be game over. Blink Donatello so he's untapped. Four, five, yeah, we'll land on top so that way I can bot bashing and still play the mechanized cavalry. But they feel like they're missing a color, and they're definitely missing land, so another game that didn't really let the opponent do enough. Well, at least this time the opponent didn't wander off on me yet, so... Power flying double strike? Yep. Yeah, I'm actually going to return the cavalry here because that's just better. Now I'll put the land on the bottom. And that should be the end of the game. Even if they can kill Donatello here, it's not like they're going to be able to come back from this. They're going to be on permanent chump blocking duty with the GT on the Don and Leo rather. Well, since you said opponent, I will good game you back. They got stuck on lands. I don't really consider that a good game, but I will shake their hand metaphorically. Since they were kind enough to concede once it was over rather than run out the timer because, you know, something outside of my control means that they have to take it out on me. Like, I don't get to shuffle your deck in Arena. In real life, my shuffling is actually pretty toxic for both me and my opponent. So if my opponent shuffles my deck, I'm usually better off if we both shuffle each other's decks. Which, in more higher ranked tournaments, there was a thing where you always had to shuffle your opponent's deck. I don't know if that's still a thing or not, because I just don't get out there anymore. But for the longest time, at like the Grand Prix level, you were required to shuffle your opponent's deck. So, as somebody who occasionally went to Grand Prix and everything, I like to stay in practice with things like that, and so I would shuffle the opponent's deck each time, and like I said, my shuffling just seemed to come off as incredibly toxic towards good draws after a little while. Ooh, 1/3 trample, and the mutagen token. Or another mutant you control enters. Oh, Genghis Frog's real good. Alright, well, let's make some extra dudes. I mean, bot bashing is probably going to be able to kill him, and Bespoke Bow also shouldn't have too much trouble keeping him in check. But they might get to make, like, yeah, this is actually better for me. If they're going to put the counter on him, that's going to eat up a lot of their time. Like, I just take 2 here, and then they play out, where they don't have anything. Alright, let's see if they have anything here. They have 3/2, bounce my 1/1. I was gonna say, if they kill this, I don't get to surveil. I do not need a mana dork right now. That doesn't, like, get involved with their guy. Okay. That's reasonable at, like, what is he, 7 mana? 6 mana? Courier of Comestibles, so they can search their library for one of the fancy pizzas, which they have Pizza Face, okay. Or another mutant. He's a mutant, right? In addition to his other things, he is a food mutant specifically. Yep, okay. Hot Bashing is a sorcery. Alright, let's hit for 3 first. Yeah, I'm just going to be mana efficient here. Kill the 2/4, hopefully. They actually have the shell. Yeah, they do. Alright. I mean, I can still bounce it with Bespoke Bow, but the plan was to kill that and then bounce Pizza Face instead. So they're going to have... Yep. I take 5, or 4 damage rather. Go to 12. Assuming they have a land, they get to play Pizza Face. Oh! Yeah, it makes their creatures harder to block. Can't be blocked by more than one creature, and he does indeed have trample. Alright, well, let's send him back to the hand right now. Keep pushing damage. Target ninja or turtle can't be blocked. Yep. Right, replay Michelangelo. So if they put the counter on the courier, then both of them can't be blocked by more than one creature. Also, we'll put it out of range. Oh, they're just going to put it on him? Sure. Whatever. In that case, I will kill your 1/2. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, gonna come up a little bit short this game. Okay. Well, that didn't hurt, but also didn't help much. Like, I can soak 3 points of damage here. Pizza Face is, what, a 2/4, so I would be able to attack into it, but... Or no, I won't, because they'll be able to put counters on it. Yeah, I don't think I can go to 4 here yet. Although they just have 3 counters, so they can make this a 7-power creature next turn. Crying and Shredder. This is just insane, right? Enters or attacks. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. So, the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control, so they would get to cast my Retro Mutation, and I drew another land. So, yep, that's going to do it. I'm just very dead here. Oh, I also kind of flooded out there. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 lands versus 4, 5 spells. I would have drawn 2 lands before I drew another spell there if they hadn't have hit me with Crying and Shredder, so... Unfortunately, they hit me with Crying and Shredder, so I lost one of the few cards that could get me out of that by getting rid of their very powerful bomby creature there. Alright. Yeah, sorry if I sound super raspy. I did not sleep particularly well at the motel that we stayed at last night. Now it's my turn to take a mulligan, it looks like. Yeah, Trag and the soldiers aren't really that good, and I need lands anyway. Alright, this is better. I can put one of these lands back and still be okay. Not great, but okay. Put back an island, I guess. At least my early game is still reasonable. Though if I flood out again, it's just not going to work out. Maybe I do have one too many land. This just leaves the battlefield. Oh no, it's dies. Shoot. Alright, well, they're probably gonna block here, and I don't really care. Bounce harmlessly off of each other. Just gonna scry one. Well, I don't think I put away Retro Mutation. If they're running Featherbrain Filcher in a white-black deck, they're probably going to have a bunch of Ninja with Sneak, so I really want to keep them from hitting me with a powerful effect. So if I can, like, Retro Mutation onto their creature mid-combat after they sneak it in, then it suddenly becomes an 0-1 that didn't deal combat damage to me. Ooh, Turncoat I remember being really good. Well, now I didn't leave up mana, so if Featherbrain Filcher attacks here, I'm just going to be very sad when they put in a very powerful ninja. Even something weak like a Rokusaki is gonna ruin my day. But I don't think I can... Oh, is it just... I mean, it's a lot of damage, but... I think ultimately that's fine. Because now I get to kill their food token while they can't use it, and I have a 4-3 to trade with the 6-4, so... Take some of their power out of contention. I mean, I can still just chump with a 1-1 here. Unless I attack with both, in which case I try to kill the 3-2. I have to soak 6 points of damage, but I can't just take that to the face. Play him, sure. Make him a 1-3, maybe. Yep, okay. Okay, let's keep the pressure on them then. Yep. Filcher can still attack this turn, though, and they might ninjutsu into somebody else. Just give that death touch, sure. Well, I'm sure this will go wonderfully for me. A single bad thing will happen. Oh. That's actually not that bad, all things considered. It does make the race a lot worse for me, but... Okay. Not great, but... Yep. Sure. Doesn't really matter who they give Death Touch to, I'm definitely killing Shredder here, so... Go to 4. Unfortunately, Skateboard not particularly strong when I'm this far behind. But they are down to 2 cards, so a very real chance that this will still work out. Bounce Filter back to hand. They could just be getting priority for their food, but there's also any number of other things they could have here, so... And I died, because I took exactly 4 damage there. Alright, fair enough. My second loss now. Yep. Alright, can we get at least 1 more win? 2 more wins is my ideal thing. 4 wins always feels like I'm ahead of the game. Yeah, if you can get 4 wins consistently, you're just always... Like, you're not full on infinite, but you're close enough. You can't just draft forever with that. You do have to do dailies and whatnot in order to get and eventually get like the full set to make up for the 100 gems that you're losing each time, but it's close enough. Opponent goes first. Hitting lands has not been a huge problem for me, so I'm sure it's going to start being one right now, but... Nope, never mind. Cycle Rocksteady. Yep. I don't know why I moused over him like it's like, and where did they discard? Rocksteady, they cycled him for a forest. That's how that works. Alright, so this is if something left the battlefield this turn, you put a 1/1 counter on him. Yeah, we just tempo them. Play him. Donatello, I get to draw a card. Yeah, it seems really good. Ragamuffin. Yep. I'm gonna need my things pretty soon. But in the meantime, we get to do this at least. mean, I guess it would be a trade for Rocksteady next turn if he blocks. So, that's not terrible for me. Still get to play out one of the Purple Dragon Punks. Or if I hit a land, I can actually run out Nobody, bounce the bow, and replay it in the same turn. And then they're right back in their bad blocking position. That's fine. Nope, did not draw land. Alright. They kind of have to trade off Rocksteady here. My first 2/2. I think I just take it. If they have something scary, oh well. Yeah, I think we still send her back. I want to keep putting pressure on them. I'm more concerned with their life total than mine. I'm gonna have to block with Nobody next turn if I'm allowed to. It's too likely that they kill me here. Could also be the make a creature an 0/1. Like they could have the reverse mutation. Yep. They did that for mana efficiency's sake, but now I'm just going to chump block with them anyway. So, although that will cause their retro mutation to leave the battlefield, so we'll still get their 1/1 counter. But if they attack with both, yep. Chance they activate that, even though they technically don't need to. So that'd be super helpful. It is a little scary they chose her, though, as the target. Two, three, four, so we can... There. Okay. Alright, it's gonna be close. I have 6 points of damage on the board, and 5, 6, 7, 8 mana is how she works. Yeah. possibly 9 mana, so they could just play Krang here and win. I think he's a 9-drop. I forget if he's a 9-drop or not. Well, they haven't played a land and cast a 9-power indestructible flying haste trampler, so... I'm just going to soak the 4 damage here. Metalhead's real good. Yep. But then again... Alright, artifact I control, creature I control. So make the 1/1, bounce Mona Lisa, because their other 2 creatures are too good if I bounce them. Alright. They're actually in a lot of trouble now. On board, anyway. Yeah, they don't have artifacts to sacrifice to him right now, so... Menace and Haste aren't really a factor. Well, Menace, if they can get it online, would be, but... They don't currently have anything. So they need to play an artifact, sacrifice it to make him a 5/5, and then he still trades with a 1/1, so they need something else going on. Up the 4/3 getting back Rocksteady again. It's pretty brutal. Oh. Wait, did I exile Rocksteady? I did not. I did hit a land, which is good. Want to equip. And equip. Swing 6. Because they do not have a good multi-block here. They do have to chump, so... Yep. Okay, well, let's maximize our value then. Artifact, creature. So yeah, they can get the mutagen token to give Metalhead Menace, but I don't think that's going to save them now. Unless they have something else to go along with it. Because right now, Don and Leo just eat it. I can go block on the 4/3s and the Mauser tokens, and that should be good enough. They're gonna need something else. Oh. Okay, that doesn't give him Menace. Alright, what is it? Yeah, okay, you got it. Yep. Gain 3 life if they want to. Okay. So they're functionally at 8 right now, but... I don't think I go for the kill. I think they have something, so... Trade the 4-3 for my 3-2. Oh, okay. Yep. And play the punks. We would need a black mana for Ronin, and I guess they could have Jenika's technique specifically to kill the 2-2 and the 3-2. But right now, Ray Fillet represents lethal all by himself, yeah, so. Hey, we got that all-important third win, so it's not a disaster at least. Being down 500 gems is a lot more than 100 gems overall, but it's still way better than being down, like, what is it, 1,250 or something? It's a huge jump from from 2 wins to 3 wins, but at the same time, 4 wins is really the sweet spot, so I'm gonna really hope for that one. Saber, shouldn't you be hoping for 7 wins then, by that logic? No. I just want my 4 wins consistently, and 7 wins every now and again. Alright, well, I have an okay-ish curve. Depending on what they have, I don't get run over immediately, so... And having Donnie be a cantrip is helpful. Assuming I don't feel like I have to pop the mutagen token or doesn't get wrecked by something randomly. Is there... Oh no, it's the Cloud Seas. I was gonna say, is that the black rare that I drafted, pack one, pick one, but no, it's Cloud. And the Chandra Bow. Okay. Let's run out the Mauser because it's better overall. Plus, there's always a chance I run this thing out and attack with a 2-2 into like a 1-2 or something. Oh, that's a 1-1 death touch, so that doesn't help anything. See if they block. I don't think they do because it's also a mana dork. I kind of figured. I really just need to hit my land on time. Top land, not the best here. Maybe I should have held one of them back. Because now I can't... Although he'd still be like a 2-3 if they put the mutagen on him first. Which they didn't, so maximum punish. Yeah, I also should not have gone to no blocks first if I was going to try and put this on him afterwards, but... Reach, trample, gain 2 life. Alright, so hit him with that. Untap and kill the 5/5. Yep. Hit them for 1 because I want to kill the Frog Butler if they attack, or make them put the mutagen on him. Alright, Pizza Face is fine. Yep. Well, I'm definitely sacrificing an artifact. I suppose at this point the Mauser token is worse. Although, Pizza Face himself is still a problem. Because they can always eat the food and put the counters on. Or they can just fight, I guess. Kill Trag right now. Sure, that sucks. Alright. Well, guess I'll lose then. So now they can eat their pizza. Then put counters on Mike again. Oh, or they could miss it, I guess. Maybe they have something else instead? Let's see if I draw a land here. I did not. I want to save the skateboard to actually tap down a creature to push damage in. Yep. Keep taking 4. Right, this time they used it. Yep. That's not great for me. Tap Michelangelo. Dragons. Them haste. The counter there. I have to do it sorcery speed. And hit them for 8 real quick. Yep. Okay. Move the nunchucks over. Give +1/+1 and trample. Alright. Five, 6. Okay. 1/1. Another 1/1. Swing with my 4/5. Alright. The West Wind Avatar. And they get to sacrifice a land to gain 3 life. Yep, that should probably do it. 7/7 Trampler. And I'm at 4, and they get to put 3 counters on him. Yep. So they have 14 points of trample damage, and another 3 power there, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still has me dead on board. Okay. I'm prepared to call it then. Yeah, I really desperately needed the make a creature a 0/1 there. Or the bespoke bow or something. Oh well. That was not a terrible run considering I have not played with the set on Arena this entire time, so... Alright, so that's going to do it for me for right now, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.